Week 17 of the 2025-26 NBA season is over, which means it's time to run it back. This is Run It Back, NBA Week in Review, Heat Edition. I'm Eric Labrador at thepeachbasket.net, covering the Miami Heat. This is the show where we recap the week that was in the NBA and then highlight the marquee matchup for the week to come. In Week 17, Miami went 2-1 with a loss to Utah and wins against easy teams Washington and New Orleans. Now with the Jazz game. Many people were saying that this was a bad loss, that Jaren Jackson and Lauri Markkanen were sat out in the fourth quarter. I don't think so. Jaren Jackson did his damage in the second quarter. That was the key to them getting ahead and staying ahead. He had 9 points, 6 rebounds. Collier had a good game. They pulled ahead of Miami, and Miami fought in the third and fourth quarters, but it gave the young players of the Jazz a chance to make shots and win the game. It was a bad loss in the sense that they lost and they should have won the game, but it wasn't a complete collapse. Utah is a lot better than a lot of people say. In the Washington and New Orleans games, Eric Spoelstra is trying to kind of capture in a bottle. In both games, you saw Bam Adebayo and another person scored 20 points, 20 plus points. You saw Kel'el Ware with double-digit rebounds. You saw Kasparas Giacochonis contributing. The Heat this season are kind of similar to the 99 Yankees. Nobody knew who they were. There wasn't like a major star, but everybody, every single player contributed. If Coach Spoelstra can capture lightning in a bottle, then Miami is not only going to make the playoffs, but as Jeremy Taché on the Dan Le Batard show said, and they get a lot of their injured players back, they could probably skip the play-in and make the 6th seed or higher. I believe that. Moving to our power ranking segment, we start with the only objective top 10 NBA power rankings anywhere. You can read more about how we get to these rankings and see the entire list at thepeachbasket.net. For the Heat, they stay at 7th in the power rankings and 14th overall. Two teams of note that are going in opposite directions. Cleveland is moving up in the power rankings. I saw that they blew out Washington and they beat Denver, which is a definite good win. Philly is coming back to the Heat. They are at 30 and 25. Heat are at 29 and 27. Philly had bad losses to Portland, and then they got outclassed and outplayed by the Knicks. So the Heat have an opportunity there to move up some slots. In our standout stats segment, Bam Adebayo leads again in points, field goals attempted, total rebounds, and defensive rebounds. That's your all-star. That's your cornerstone. Andrew Wiggins, as Heat announcer Eric Reed calls him, the quiet storm, tied Kel'el Ware, averaging 3 offensive rebounds per game. The guy is a glue guy. He's not going to be your leader, but he's a guy that sets the tone for everybody else. Jaime Jaquez led in assists and blocks. The guy he has court vision. He can pass the ball, and together with Davion Mitchell, that's pretty good. And then Simone Fontecchio making a comeback now in the close to the second half of the season in scoring, and this week he had 2 steals average per game. So, in our marquee matchup segment, it's going to be to win every game this week. The Heat have a short week. They play at Atlanta and host Memphis. Now, Atlanta has and always will be Miami's play-in nemesis. Atlanta beat Miami earlier this season, so the Heat got to do a big get-back game in Atlanta if they're going to convince the fan base that it wasn't just wins against Washington and New Orleans that they should be excited about. You beat Atlanta, gain some momentum, and then you get some quality wins against better teams. Memphis is on the way down. They traded everybody. So the Heat, they're going to play them at home on Saturday. So the Heat should is being the operative word. They always got to play the games, win that game, and go 2-0. In our viral pressure full court segment, did a search for the Miami Heat on Google and came up with some news articles. The first one that I saw that was of interest, it was in the All the Smoke podcast. This was a piece on Heavy.com. Chris Bosh says he was super pissed at LeBron when he left in 2014. I agree, because LeBron shut everybody out. He knew he had to make that decision to go back to Cleveland, but I know that he would have won at least 2 more championships if LeBron would have stayed. And the famous Pat Riley press conference of, you don't run out the door, you stay and fight if you got the guts. To LeBron's credit, I mean, good for him. He's created his own production company. He went to Cleveland. They had those famous battles with the Golden State Warriors. Went to Los Angeles. But how many championships has he won? 2. So he didn't really do that much better when he left Miami. And I think it would have been a lot different if he would have stayed. But that's just me. Keshad Johnson won the slam dunk competition in All-Star Saturday Night. Yawn. The All-Star Saturday Night, it needs to be changed, rethought, something else done, because, I mean, when you have Matt McClung winning it 3 times in a row, and all the credit to him, he has a tremendous vertical, but Matt McClung isn't a starter in the league. I mean, the dunk competition was lost when LeBron and Kobe didn't compete in it in the mid-2000s. Finally, a Miami Herald article came out from Anthony Chang saying that the Heat are going to try to make the double big lineup of Bam Adebayo and Kel'el Ware work. Now, this is, like Hamlet says, there's the rub. Coach Spoelstra is saying, well, I think, these guys were coming together, like for the old heads, Major League, the first one when Lou Brown says, starting to come together, Pepper, starting to come together. For it to really come together, Kel'el Ware has to make a leap in productivity, not only against Washington and New Orleans, but with good teams, and he has to get those. He has to be averaging 3 offensive rebounds a game. He has to be picking up defenders and letting Bam get his 20, 17-14 like he got against New Orleans. That's where the rubber meets the road. But the Heat, as I have written, they have role players, a lot of role players that could be included in the trade package, but they have guys that can overachieve and probably get the Heat into a 6th seed. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is a keeper. If they can get anything out of Nikola Jovic, it was a big mistake to give him an extension, but the Heat can be like those Yankees and sneak up on people because they can light it up, and if they can put it together on defense and rebounding, they can really make something happen. So that's it. My take on Week 17 of the NBA season is over. Join me next week for Week 18 when we run it back. Have a good day, everybody.